The Panzerkampfwagen IV, commonly known as the Panzer IV, was a German medium tank developed in the late 1930s and used extensively during the Second World War. Its Ordnance Infantry designation was SDKFZ 161. Panzer IV was the most numerous German tank and the second most numerous German fully tracked armoured fighting vehicle of the Second World War. 8,553 Panzer IVs of all versions were built during World War II, only exceeded by the Stug-3 assault gun with 10,086 vehicles. Panzer IV saw service in all combat theatres involved in Germany and was the only German tank to remain in continuous production throughout the war. It was originally designed for infantry support, while a similar Panzer III was to fight armoured fighting vehicles. However, as the Germans faced a formidable T-34, the Panzer IV had more developmental potential, with a larger turret ring to mount more powerful guns. So, it swapped roles with the Panzer III, whose production wound down in 1943. The Panzer IV received various upgrades and design modifications, intended to counter new threats, extending its service life. Generally, these involved increasing the armour protection or upgrading the weapons. Although during the last months of the war, with Germany's pressing need for rapid replacement of losses, design changes also included simplifications to speed up the manufacturing process. Now, a brief word from our sponsor. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Play more than 2,000 tanks, aircraft, helicopters, and ships in dynamic combined arms PvP battles. As a gamer, I appreciate that the vehicles in War Thunder span over 100 years of development from the 1920s to the present day. Every vehicle is incredibly detailed and modelled, offering a highly immersive combat experience. War Thunder has incredible graphics and detail in 4K resolution to create the immersion you need. Play War Thunder now on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Download the game yourself, as I have no new player offer pack to give you. The Panzer IV H model entered into production in June 1943 and featured several upgrades, including a single-plate glacis, reinforced final drive with higher gear ratios, factory-applied Zimmerit magnetic coating, and pre-mounted skirsion on the turret and sides of the vehicle to act as protection against heat warheads and anti-tank rifles. A total of 3,774 Panzer IV H tanks were produced, seeing combat on all fronts of the war. In the video game Steel Division 2, the Panzer IV H is a 75-point medium tank available to a huge variety of German Panzer and Axis allied divisions. The tank itself, in the game, has two main weapons. The main weapon of the Panzer IV is the KWK-40 L/48 75mm cannon with an impressive 55 armor penetration rounds and 32 high explosive rounds. The armor penetration rounds are quite formidable, able to penetrate a huge variety of Soviet and Western Allied armor. It's accurate, long range, and has a decent rate of fire. The high explosive cells are also quite capable for dealing with infantry and emplacement threats. You also are equipped with two Maschinengewehr 44 machine guns with 12,000 rounds of ammunition. The frontal armor plating of the Panzer IV is 75mm. It is a rather strong top armor chassis, 40mm of armor on the side of the vehicle, and 35mm towards the rear. It can travel 31 kilometers off the road, 39 kilometers on the road. It is mediocre in regard to its stealth and has very low optics capability due to the lack of vision slots for the internal crew. Not like in Normandy 1944, the Panzer IV H in Steel Division 2, it's proved to be more of an incompetent tank when facing against Russian armoured fighting vehicles. When fighting against T-34-85s, for example, in a front-to-front engagement, the Panzer IV-H has no chance to win from a range between 500 to 2,000 meters. You may find your Panzer IV-H cannot penetrate Russian tanks' front armor, even with the number advantage on your side. Here in the real world, the Panzer IV-H has advantage on aim and accuracy due to optical instruments, while the T-34-85 could not fire in that long range at the Panzer IV to achieve a hit. In this game, the T-34-85 is given 50% accuracy compared to only 40% accuracy given to the Panzer IV. Lower accuracy and penetration numbers mean using the Panzer IV-H would be much harder. My advice? Use the Panzer IV-H wisely. Try to flank the enemy, though its speed is not high enough, and shoot T-34-85's side armor. Most of the time, use this tank as an infantry support vehicle. Leave Russian tanks to the mighty Flak 88 or Panzerfaust/Panzerschreck of your German infantry. Despite the fact that the Panzer IV is relatively useless against any Soviet medium tanks in 1944, their massive number can still make up their shortcomings, namely in the late game. Large numbers of Panzer IVs with the support of anti-tank air units and heavy tanks can deliver massive destruction over enemy infantry by using their high explosive shells. Their AP shells, despite not being that effective, can still stun most of the Soviet tanks and force them to withdraw. Overall, the Panzer IV-H is quite an adept medium tank, even though it may have a more difficult time against some of the stronger Soviet armoured vehicles. You must realise that not every single tank on the battlefield will be an IS-2, a T-34-85, or Jumbo. There's many other smaller, lighter tanks which the Panzer IV can easily deal with. The main drawback of the armour is really what sets the Panzer IV apart compared to more useful German medium tanks or assault guns, such as the Stug 3G or the Jagdpanzer Mark IV. However, the Panzer IV is quite a workhorse for the German military in the Second World War, and the game does quite a good job of showcasing that fact.